Hello everyone, my name is Lumi, and today I'm going to be answering your Stardew questions. I asked my Discord server to ask me literally anything they want about the game, and this is what they came up with. But before we start, you should subscribe or whatever. Thanks!
Hey Lumi, how do you stop burnout through Stardew Valley? Honestly, I usually just start over. There's something so refreshing about beginning a new save that just kicks my Stardew burnout in the head. But if you're bored of the same gameplay, you could always try out some mods or play in a way you've never played before. Pick some different professions, choose a different farm type, but always marry Haley. Never change that. Lumi, what monster do you think is the cutest, excluding Krobus? I mean, I really love the damn slimes, especially when you keep them as little pets and breed them to get all the different colors. Look at this thing. Come on. Whenever I play Stardew Valley, I just get overwhelmed by how much there is to do, usually around the time I get to Ginger Island. It can be really overwhelming going back and forth between the valley and Ginger Island, but if you laser focus on Ginger Island and only really spend time doing the small tasks in the valley, you'll be able to manage it just a little bit better. Oh, and one thing at a time, trust me. Lumi, how long did it take you to reach perfection? Alright, I'm embarrassed to admit, but I've only really achieved true perfection one time. I'm a serial farm restarter, and once I get to the perfection grind point, I may or may not abandon ship. There's been plenty of farms where I actually do get pretty close, but then I get lazy. And I don't want to cook the food and grind for that useless clock. But I think it took me about 2.5 years to 3 years, the one time that I actually did hit perfection. Can you get through Stardew without any animals? So the based in logic answer is no, not really. To finish the community center and some other things, you need animal products. They can all be found in the traveling cart, but that is a lot of luck that you're banking on. So realistically, you do need a few animals. I kind of just try to keep the silo full so they're fed and hunt for that auto petter. However, you don't need a ton because there are other ways to make a ton of money, like obviously through artisan goods, even if animals do provide a lot of really good passive income. So you should probably get a couple of animals just for the products, but that's all you really need. How many different farms have you made? The short answer is I genuinely have no idea. I have made a ton of farms. Like I said, I'm a serial farm restarter, and I've also deleted a bunch of saves. So we're just gonna say way too many farms for my own good. Lumi, where can you find all the different fish that you don't see in bundles like the blobfish? And how do you complete your wallet in Stardew Valley? Well, there are a ton of fish that aren't in the community center bundles. The blobfish can be caught at the night market in the little submarine, along with a couple of other deep sea fish. And some of the more rare fish can be caught by fishing in the mines, at Ginger Island, at the desert. But I would just kind of look at the wiki if you're not sure where to find a fish. I still do it. Don't be embarrassed. And then the wallet is mostly full of items that you get when you complete quests. Some of those quests you'll get instructions for from the secret notes, so make sure you actually read those. But there is one that you may not know how to get, and that is the club card. To get the club card, all you have to do is go to the left of the bus stop in that tunnel and put a little battery pack in that little opening. You then just kind of have to follow the prompts it gives you, which will eventually lead to the club card, where you can open the casino. Not sure if this is known, but do you have any favorite mods? This is kind of tricky because, to be honest, I haven't really played a ton of mods that have affected my gameplay that heavily. I'm a vanilla Stardew diehard, alright? Don't judge me. But I guess if I had to pick a favorite mod, it would be my cheats mod, only because it helps make TikToks and all the other related videos. I can spawn in items, cheat friendships, skip and pause time, really whatever you want to do. And no, before you ask, I don't use it in any of my gameplay videos, only in videos like this and shorts and TikToks. But at the end of the day, it's really useful to me, so that's my favorite mod. Let me know if there's a mod that you think I should try. Lumi, what's your honest opinion on Gunther in the museum? Do you wish the archaeology aspect of Stardew was expanded upon further, or is it fine how it is? The museum has always kind of felt a little passive to me. Donate item, get reward. I do think it serves its purpose, but it would be cool to have it expanded upon. Gunther being an actual NPC for starters, with friendship and heart events. Hell, let me date the guy. Cowboy lovin' sounds fun. As for the actual archaeology part, I'm not really sure how it could be expanded upon, but I'd definitely be interested in knowing how you guys think it would become more extensive. How do I make my ugly farm look acceptable? First of all, no farm is an ugly farm. Even farms with shade on them. But if you're not a big decorator, just making things look cohesive goes a long way. Fix your busted crop layout, make a dedicated chest area, actually think about where you're placing your buildings. Once that's all sorted, then you can start playing around with decor and paths. And when in doubt, just add a lantern. When playing multiplayer, what jobs do you split people's roles into? Splitting roles in multiplayer requires friends to split those roles to. That I do not have. Next, why did the people of Pelican Town allow their community center to fall into ruin? Now that you put all the hard work into fixing it up, who's to say that they just won't do it again? Well, allegedly, the threat of Joja storming the valley forced people to neglect their community duties. Me personally, I think that they're just lazy. And I guess that our existence stops people from ruining it again because we're so cute and shit. I don't know. I heard there's a polyamory mod. Can you talk about it? I often have a hard time picking which bachelorette to marry. It'd be great if I didn't have to choose. There is such a mod. It's called the Free Love mod. You can marry literally everyone with it. It also supports some fun additions like the Hugs and Kisses mod, which allows your spouses to like hug and kiss each other, not just you. And the Bed Tweaks mod, where you can just have a giant bed to fit everybody. If you're burdened with choice, just choose the Free Love mod. Why do babies never grow up? And why are the only ones that can be sacrificed? Well, when you think about it, no one grows up and no one ages. You could go 100 years and your children are still toddlers and Clint still looks like that. So basically, Stardew is a simulation where everyone is trapped in a cruel and eternal time loop, crafted by Concerned Ape himself. And why can you only sacrifice them? I don't know. Look at them. Lumi, will you play the Haley trilogy mods? They're the Meow's Haley event expansion, Dating Haley, and Haley's pregnancy. Haley trilogy? Haley's pregnancy mod? The answer is absolutely, and why the hell have I never heard of the Haley pregnancy mod? Looms, which farm is a must play and which farm is a no-go? For me personally, the standard farm is the only way to go. I can make some exceptions for the forest farm, and if you have friends, maybe the Four Corners farm. But if you even look at the beach farm, you're just dead to me. There's barely any space to farm on, and the space you can farm on, you cannot put sprinklers on. I'm the beach farm's #1 hater, and that's all I can say. What is your favorite Stardew Valley Easter egg? My favorite Easter egg has to be these silly little statues. I mean, like, come on, what the hell is Pinky Lemon? They're so silly and weird that it has to just be my #1. Which festival is your favorite? My answer to this question has always been the Stardew Valley Fair. However, the Desert Festival might have it beat. The fair is fun because there's actually things to do, but if you know anything about me, you know the mind's call to me. Having an entire festival basically based around the Skull Caverns is literal heaven to me. Plus, the Desert Festival is like the only chance I have at getting the moon decal without having to marry Penny. Therefore, I have to go with the Desert Festival. What crops are the best for each season? Answers to this question probably vary person to person, but here's my personal list. Starting in spring, I always go with potatoes off the bat, and then obviously once you reach the Egg Festival, that's when you get all of the strawberries in the world. You also have to make sure you save some strawberry seeds for year 2. Then for summer, I'm all in on the blueberries. You can go with some melons or starfruit when you get to that point, but strictly for convenience, the regrowable blueberries are it for me. In fall, maybe I'll plant some pumpkins, but guess what? I like cranberries better. In winter, I normally don't really grow crops because I really hated growing the forageables, but since 1.6 came out, I've really enjoyed planting the powder melons, so I'll usually get a couple of those. Is there a way to speed up getting to perfection? I feel like I'm just waiting on getting money and going to the Skull Caverns on good luck days, doing farm chores any other day. Honestly, once you've cooked all the food, crafted all the recipes, fished up all the fish, all you've got left to do is make some shmoney. You could theoretically speed up perfection by making more kegs, getting more animals, just overall increasing your productivity. But if you're just waiting around at this point, it's likely that all you have left is that damn golden clock. So in that case, just do your chores and wait for good luck days. There's really not much else you can do. If you could choose any item to take from Stardew and have it in real life, which item would it be? Bro, the horse flute, immediately. Imagine playing a little song on a horse-shaped flute and a 4-legged Gojo just appears out of thin air. There's nothing more in this world that I would want. I'm about to reach Ginger Island for the first time, so how should I start there? The very first thing that I do when I reach Ginger Island is go golden walnut hunting. I've mostly memorized where I can find the readily available walnuts, so I'll just spend an entire day going through and getting them. Since it's your first time, if you want, you could look at a guide or just try to find them yourself. But once you find those walnuts that are in definite spots and start to unlock the island amenities, then you'll start the volcano mines grind and start developing your farm area. What's your list of enchantments, going from your favorite to your least favorite? I have to put Artful in the top spot. Having Artful on my Galaxy Hammer is just too nice to put it anywhere else. And I'll go with Crusader on my sword because killing those mummies is so satisfying. terrifying. For the rest of them, Bug Killer, Vampiric, and Haymaker, they tie for number 3 because I don't use them and I don't like them. What's your favorite Stardew food? This question has layers because there's one answer for what food I'm always eating in-game and another answer for what looks the most appealing. First, there is always a spicy eel or two in my inventory. For one, they're just really easy to get a ton of and they provide luck and speed. So if I don't have a magic rock candy, which I normally don't, I'll just use my little spicy eels. And then for the most appealing food, it has to be the cranberry candy. I actually ended up making it in one of my cooking videos because it is in the cookbook and it was so good. It tasted like Shirley Temples. Do you prefer playing Stardew as optimal as possible, or do you just do things at your own pace? Honestly, I think I'm a mix of both. I do generally like to play as optimal as possible, but if I play like a machine, it just takes all the fun out of it. I'll spend money on useless things, waste good luck days on decorating my farm, and even stray away from the meta if I think it's boring. So it's like a chaotic good kind of thing. Fundamentally, I'll adhere to the Stardew gods, but sometimes just in the way that I want to do it. If you could make a Stardew 2, what would you change? Stardew Valley would no longer be Stardew Valley. It would be Haley Valley with cute little blonde women running rampant. I'm kidding. In all seriousness, there are a couple of gripes I have with the game, but I think the quirks make Stardew what it is. So I'm sorry, not to be cheesy or anything, but I don't think I would change a thing. Can you make a farm look good without mods? Yes, you absolutely can. There are so many fun little decor tidbits, and while I'm personally not the best at decorating, there are people that go crazy. If you actually just spend a little bit of time decorating your farm, it can go a long way. How do you get back into Stardew after not playing for a while? This is gonna be similar to another question, but if I haven't played for a while, I just straight up make a new farm. I'm like this with a lot of games. I don't really like getting used to a farm I've spent a lot of time on all over again. Like if I were to jump back into an old farm that I haven't been on in weeks or maybe even months, I'd just be lost. I don't remember what I was doing or how my chests are laid out or where everything is. So I'd just like to start fresh and go from there. If you could add one animal/pet to the game, what would it be? But don't tell us. Draw it using Microsoft Paint.
Starting with the head right here. This is a beautiful circle. Nobody's ever made a better circle in their entire life. And then it's got little ears, as most things do. Are there things that don't have ears? Those look like ears, I think. And then obviously it has to have some eyes. I don't know what their eyes look like, so they're just gonna be black dot. It's mouth. And then I'll add like a little smile. I don't know if this is like accurate, but I feel like that's how people usually draw animals. And you know what? I'll give him little eyebrows. Hi. All right, now I gotta make the stomach. It kind of looks like a koala. Like, not to spoil anything, but it's definitely not a koala. Boop. It worked. Okay, and then it needs a tail. Oh, no. Beautiful. And you know what? Hold on. I feel like I need to like add atmosphere too. You know what? This is just gonna be a really wacky branch. Then this animal. Why has he got like a really, really massive thigh? Just on one side. We'll name him Toothpick.
Do you still find the game fun anymore? Oof, this is probably a hard one. I think the short answer is yes, absolutely, and I always will. But dedicating yourself to one game, especially if you're making content on it, can be a little tiring. It can be hard to think of fresh new ideas or even just get the motivation to make a new video. I don't play for leisure anymore, and I'm not sure I'll ever really even get to that point again. I love Stardew and I love playing the game, but I think it's just a different type of love now. Like now, if I were to open the game, I kind of feel this sense of responsibility and that I can't just play just because I want to. If I'm gonna play, might as well record it or make a video or do anything related to content. I'd probably need to take a very extensive content break from Stardew to enjoy the game the way that I used to. But that's not to say I don't have fun at all playing the game anymore. It's just, like I said, a different type of fun and a different type of love. It's fun making content for you all on a game that I've always loved. Which dateable is the most overrated in your opinion? Alright, don't come for me here because you all know it's true, but it's Sebastian. 1000% Sebastian. And it's not that he's not great, like he's clearly a little emo boy that appeals greatly to the Stardew Valley audience, but y'all act like he's the only man on Earth. Now, I know I do that with Haley, because 1, it's Haley, and 2, I like to exaggerate for funsies. So I know I'm correct in asserting that Sebastian is 1000% the most overrated bachelor. I'm not falling for the Sebastian love epidemic. What trinket did you prefer in your first Stardew Valley playthrough that included trinkets? I used the fairy box trinket, and it's probably my favorite just because of the way that I like to do the skull caverns. Picture this. You have the no bomb damage power from the dwarf statue. Storm the caverns, bomb the floors tremendously, and ignore and evade monsters. But if you do get hit by a monster, the little fairy just heals you. Also, limited food is needed for this, which is nice because I really hate grinding food, even if it's pretty easy. There's definitely better options depending on how you play, but I like the fairy box. So what? What? How would you improve the marriage system where they actually help? There is nothing more annoying than your pretty little ditzy wife trying her darndest to help around the farm, only to find out that everything is automated. It could be helpful if we were able to assign them a task to do. Like maybe they can help collect wine from your kegs or even refill them. Maybe we could send them out to forage. Whatever it might be, I think just being able to choose what they do can help avoid the "I went to water your eggplants, but the sprinkler did it for me. You're so amazing, Lumi." I don't mind the glazing, but stop trying to water my already watered crops, please.
Alright, that's gonna be it for today. Let me know if you guys enjoyed, and make sure to join my Discord server so you don't miss stuff like this. Also, make sure to subscribe, please. And remember, Lumi's always got you. Bye!